because we created this polarity, ultimately comparison is born. We can't help but compare ourselves to others because in our mind there's this distance. We're labeling ourselves with little money whereas them with more money. What we fail to realize is to the universe, in this world, everything is infinite. What I think is like a quick dopamine rush becomes a thing that feeds more of my overthinking, more comparison, more feeling left behind, feeling stuck. It's cultivating more lack. We as humans unfortunately compare ourselves to others too much, constantly. Nothing really ever satisfies us. We think that nothing is ever enough for us, whether that's the money we earn, the body that we work for, the success we've built, simply because we know that there's someone out there who has done it better. There's someone out there who still is making more money than we are. There's someone out there who's capable of achieving it, even if they're not much different to us. One thing that I still can't seem to get rid of is the idea of polarity. I mean, this is the way that we have been taught since we can remember. There's this thing called big or small, little, more. Like, we as humans just create polarity for the sake of labeling things just because we want to label things. And because we created this polarity, ultimately comparison is born. We can't help but compare ourselves to others because in our mind there's this distance between them and us. Oh, I made quite a decent amount of money, but the other person is definitely making more money than me. We're labeling ourselves with little money whereas them with more money. What we fail to realize is to the universe, in this world, everything is infinite. There's no such thing as big or small. There's no such thing as little or many. Everything in this world is infinite. Look around you. There's an infinite amount of air. There's an infinite amount of water. There's an infinite amount of everything. There's also no such thing as little infinite or much infinite. It's just infinite. That just seems like you labeling one thing, you perceiving one thing as it having a limit. But again, I think that's the reason why we're so easy to compare ourselves to others. We're seeing everything as if there is not enough of everything, even though there's an infinite amount of everything. Because we see the world in polarity, when we're exposed to someone or something that we feel is a threat, meaning we feel a sense of lack, we feel that something is not enough, then we naturally start to compare ourselves. And then we create this thing called polarity, the big or small comparison, the better or worse comparison, the who is better game, and we tend to lose ourselves in it. So the main reason why I want to create this video, or more so document this video, is because I've been struggling with this lately. Although you can tell from my previous videos, basically in this channel I talk about like spirituality, self-growth, self-improvement, lifestyle, even work, and it might seem like I have everything in control already. In one video I talk about how to deal with this, how you can deal with that, how you can do this, how you can create your own identity, how you can view self-doubt in a different way. Don't get me wrong, those are all of the things that I've learned throughout my life and throughout this journey of just becoming the better version of myself. But recently again I caught myself going into the wrong direction, going into the direction that I don't really want to go into. And I feel like this is necessary for me to tell you guys about it, because I know that for a lot of people in this journey of becoming the better version of yourself, you might think that everything is going well and you're a bit more confident in your ability to create your own reality. But sometimes again, like, we are still humans and we tend to fall into this humanly lost, if that is the word for it, or like basically we still fall into the old ways. We still fall into the old ways of living, like living for others, not living for ourselves, not prioritizing our mind and that our old self used to live by. But again, one thing that I want to clarify is not all of my videos I act as if I'm already there or like I figured it out. It's just that I am sharing what I've learned throughout this journey, and I try to always refer back to my old self and then picking the lessons from it, what I learned from it, and then sharing it in a video format so that you guys can also either learn from it or avoid the mistakes that I've made. Now, if you're new here, basically the season that I am at right now is a season where I've been learning to cultivate play and rest in my lifestyle. I used to be so burned out. Last year, I built a business not in an act of alignment. It doesn't really align with who I am, and let's be real, I just want to chase the money. I created the business solely for the money, and yes, it brought me money, but yes, it also burned me out bad. So now what I'm trying to focus in this season of my life is, again, learning how to actually rest and trust in myself more, letting go of all of the logical things that I think I have to do, like building this kind of business because this makes more sense. There's a really big potential of scaling. You can get ahead of your competitors, whatever that is. I'm trying to get rid of all of those thoughts and lean more into myself, leaning more to the power that is within me, the power of me that can create any reality that I want, regardless of what method I choose, what direction I choose. So again, in this season of rest, my goal is to create a higher frequency every single day by simply doing the things that I love. Because when I'm building my business, I was working, but I don't love the work that I do. I despise it. Even if I don't really seem like I hate it, I think I fall into the trap of the hustle mentality, and I keep gaslighting myself like, it's okay, just keep pushing through. I work like 8 to 12 hours a day because that's what a lot of people, especially people in the media, told us to do if we want to reach a certain amount of money, or if we want to grow our business, or whatever that is. So that's ultimately what I did, and I burned out. So again, my goal now is to create a higher frequency every single day so that I can feel better, and in feeling the emotions that I want to feel, I hope to also bring that and can thank the universe that this is the life that I'm already living. I am living in joy, in love, in peace, and I hope that the universe will give me more of that, right? So the second thing that I'm learning to do is trusting the process also, because I'm such a logical thinker. I used to overthink a lot of things, like just simply what business model to choose. I would do tons of research on it, make sure that I was in the right direction by, considering all of these things that in reality, maybe in reality actually will not move the needle as much, but I think it's like that's what I should do, right? So learning to trust the process and just trust in myself more, listen to my own inner voice. Now, but somewhere along the way of doing those, I kind of misused this time of rest and relaxation. I kind of misunderstood what rest actually means, because again, I used to be anti-rest. I used to fall hard in the hustle mentality, like grind 24/7 mode. It is so hard for me to rest. I always feel guilty when I'm not productive or when I'm not resting. So in this moment of learning how to rest, coming from the person who has never rested properly before, ultimately I kind of misused that time. Now I kind of understand what rest actually means, especially in this time of my life. It means that I need to trust the universe, I need to let go. I have to have the conviction, the knowing that I'm already in the position that I want to be. So that's why I need to be relaxed, because I'm already living my dream life. Now, having all of this understood, I tend to make excuse for myself and ended up doom scrolling. Yes, coming from the person who again is working like 8 to 12 hours a day to someone who doom scroll for hours, it's pretty bad, because I gaslight myself into thinking that, oh, everything is already said and done, right? I just need to control my emotions, do more visualization, and everything will come to me, right? So when I have this extra time, I'm not using it wisely, but I'm using it to doom scroll. And when I doom scroll, I thought to myself that, it's alright, like my dream reality is coming to me. It's alright. I will not feel guilty about scrolling and just having a little more fun in the media, because I think also part of me really crave that dopamine rush when you're scrolling through social media. Because again, I used to be really strict with my time in social media. So again, I justify social media doom scrolling as rest, but I don't really see the negative impact immediately coming to me when I doom scroll. It's not that, I doom scroll one day and I fell into depression the next day. It's not like that, but I feel like gradually I'm starting to compare more of myself with others. Especially because again, what I think is like a quick dopamine rush becomes the thing that feeds more of my overthinking, more comparison, more feeling left behind, feeling stuck. It's cultivating more lack. And again, like the idea that I have when I was doom scrolling, it's kind of like me gaslighting myself again, is that I think if I'm consuming the media that will inspire me and that I love, then that's ultimately gonna impact me positively. And I didn't really expect it to actually also create a sense of comparison within me. And also, a part of me understands that I am this way, I am comparing myself to others simply because I'm still focused too much on, again, the 3D reality, the reality that is in front of me, and I eventually create polarity onto myself. I try not to really be harsh on myself, and if you're also experiencing this right now, or maybe in the future, or maybe in the past, I just want to tell you that don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't beat yourself up because like you fell into your old self again, or maybe that you're not supposed to be comparing yourself to others. You're supposed to focus on your own self. But why are you comparing yourself? Because as I've mentioned in the beginning of the video, we have lived in this 3D reality in our old self longer than we've been in this new self. So it's only natural for us to fall into old patterns or even negative patterns. But that doesn't mean that you have to beat yourself. This only means that, it's a signal. Whenever I see this negative patterns coming to me, I see it as a signal from the universe or from my higher self that, we need to get back on track. Or also, it's more like they're giving me something to notice so that I don't repeat this pattern in the future. I know that, because I'm doom scrolling, because I'm doing this, I tend to fall back into the comparison mode. This is kind of like, I see it as like the universe signal telling me that, hey, because you're doing this, this is what you get. So by us giving you these hard lessons, we hope that you in the future will not repeat this pattern, or at least you know how to deal with this pattern in the future. Now, I am currently reading the book called Working with the Law by Raymond Holliwell. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but I came across this one paragraph to which I will read it to you. To be warm, we give our whole thought to those things which tend to create warmth, and we ignore the cold in thinking of heat and bring forth heat. This is a metaphor. So essentially, when you're craving for warmth, if you're too cold, you're feeling too cold, you're not gonna always feel the coldness, right? You're gonna go and look for warmth. You're gonna find warmth, and once you've discovered that warmth, you're gonna stay with it. You're not gonna take in consider the coldness, because why would you go for the things that you don't want, right? Prosperity and poverty are not two things. They're merely two sides of one and the same. They are but one power, rightly or wrongly used. We cannot think of plenty and then worry about the unfavorable conditions that may seem apparent. As we think of it, lack, the opposite, will become absorbed or disappear. All of our thoughts must be directed to that one thing which we desire. So this is where I connect the dots. There's no use of comparing ourselves to others, because we cannot attract what we want simply from comparing ourselves to others. Our life is ours and theirs is theirs. If we want to attract our life, we don't really need to give a fuck about someone who we envy or literally anyone else's life. All thoughts must be directed to that one thing that we desire, which we only know if we look internally, not externally. The second paragraph that I want to also highlight, coming from that book, is this. The mind force is creating continually like a fertile soil. Nature does not differentiate between the seed of a weed and that of a flower. She produces and causes both seeds to grow. The same energy is used for both, and so it is with the mind. The mind creates either good or bad. Your ideas determine which is to be created. Tying this back again to comparison, it is up to us to decide how to plant our seed. Everyone has the same fertile soil. We just need to decide how it is that we're gonna plant it, how it is that we're gonna create our life. And if we're comparing ourselves to others, we're seeing others' plans, then we might create a plan that is based off them, or basically how we want ourselves to be perceived from the outside, not in an act of alignment with ourselves. We might want success just because our neighbor, who's younger than us, is more successful than us. So when we strive for success because of comparison, then again, we're creating a life that's not true to us. We're creating a life based off how we want others to perceive us. Because when we have more success than my next neighbor, then everyone will think, oh yeah, you heard about that neighbor? Her neighbor is also doing pretty good. Actually, better than the neighbor. So essentially that's what we want when we're doing comparison, right? And that does not work, that will not work. Because again, we're not creating our life based on how we want others to perceive us, which is lying to who we are truly. We're basically not living life based off our own desires, and you might have guessed it, yes, it can be miserable. So going back to my problem of misusing rest and instead comparing myself to others, I then realized how important it is to use our rest and trust time to our advantage, not fall victim by the dopamine rush, not doom scrolling, not fantasizing about others' life, but by looking from within. As I've mentioned, basically to kill comparison, you need to focus on yourself, because our life is ours, their life is theirs. We have different timelines, we have different seeds to grow. Just focus on yourself. If you focus on other things, you will focus on attracting the wrong things. So the practice to look within is to step one, sit with yourself honestly. Be really honest about what you truly want. What do you want to create for your life, for yourself, not for others. Not based off what look good on social media, based on what feels true to yourself. If you're already in this journey of self improvement, you've probably already defined what it is that you truly want. You've already defined the step one. So step two is to just simply remind yourself of your dream reality, again, not theirs, with whatever method it is that feels best to you. Again, the problem that I'm having is I relax too much and basically gaslight myself into thinking that everything is well so I can doom scroll, but that's not an excuse to doom scroll and then falling behind. So no matter what, even if you think that you are certain that you can become that person, I am that identity, you still need to remind yourself quite often, actually every day for me, because who knows when you can actually fall back to your old self. We, as I've mentioned, live in our old self more than we've lived in our new self, and our self doesn't want to disappear, doesn't want to let us go. So it will find any way to go into the cracks and bring you back down to that old state of yourself. We don't want that. We don't want to fall back again. So remind yourself every day with whatever method suits you best. If you want to learn more about how I set an identity for myself and all of the things that help me maintain this new reality, you can watch my other videos, but some of it includes doing the things that brings you into a higher frequency every day, reminding yourself of your dream reality. That could also mean writing a journal every day about how you think your dream reality has actually played out, but write it in the past tense. You can also meditate to get to the zero state, which is neutrality, so that you can plant new seeds, new beliefs, new convictions, new thoughts. You can also visualize your life. Whatever method works for you, you do it frequently, morning, night, afternoon, whenever you feel like it. Step 3, don't fall into the comfort trap. More so, be aware when you fall into the comfort trap and try to get out of it as soon as possible. Don't let yourself get too comfortable where rest becomes comparing. Your journey to your dream reality can be a trap if you're not careful. Again, your old self is gonna always find a way to bring you back down. So notice those little things and change as soon as possible. So in summary, comparison creates polarity, or the other way around. The belief of polarity creates comparison, and this polarity will naturally block your way to having your desired state, because it keeps you focused on the thing that doesn't exist or should not be in your focus. The universe sees everything as infinite, so whatever you create, big or small, better or worse, just look inward, because you can create anything and you don't need to compare yourself to others. Otherwise, you can't even create the thing that you want. So create your own chapter from chapter 1 with full presence, with full alignment that actually connects you to your higher self and brings you to that desired state. You're going from living based on what looks good to living based on what feels true. You're not behind, you're just looking at the wrong life. Start to look inward, start to look at your life and create from there. That is where your power is. That is your superpower, to create your own life. In this journey of becoming the better version of yourself, the path can seem lonely. The path might feel lonely. And sure, you need to figure out your own life yourself, but why not use our free will and support each other, create a community where we can actually hype each other up, we can help each other become the better version of ourselves. why not do that if you have the opportunity to? So that's why I'm planning on creating a community for all of us like-minded, young, ambitious people who wants to become the better version of themselves. You can join my email list in the description below. When the timing is right, I am gonna launch this community big, and we can just share our experiences together. We can grow in our own way with the support of other like-minded people, and yeah, we just go big together. Other than that, a reminder that you can create anything that you want in this life if you put your mind into it, because you are captain of your soul. Keep that in mind, and I'll see you in my next video.